Title: Constructing Canada's Future, Pierre Poilievre's Vision versus Trudeau's Record. An analysis. Skills Gap Trainer comment. The empathetic demeanour that Mr. Pierre Poilievre displays when conversing with Canadians truly shines through in this video. We are fortunate to witness this authentic sentiment, which starkly contrasts the routine, yet subtly necessary corrections he must dispense to opposition MPs' statements on a daily basis, as he endeavours to guide our nation onto a path of positive action and reason. This video is a potent reminder of the escalating struggles faced by many, like the worker wrestling with soaring rents. Such narratives highlight the urgent need for a political party that embodies and champions the traditional Canadian principles of work ethic, competence, reason, professional decision-making, performance, and upholds professional ethics, oaths, integrity, and duties. Through his insights and actions, Pierre Poilievre underscores his commitment to preserving Canada's professional and legal frameworks. Legislation such as RCMP Act, Engineers Act, Technologists Act, Firearm Acts, and Healthcare Acts can provide a sturdy shield for the working and middle classes, defending them against any potential erosion of civil and professional identities through foreign subversion, federal intervention, or other undue influences. At a time when the respect for oaths, heritage, and Canada's history seems in jeopardy, Pierre's unwavering dedication to upholding scientific and economic principles, and the professionalism integral to our nationhood, resonates as a beacon of traditional approach. Upon assuming office, members of Parliament, MPs, take the following oath of allegiance. I name, do swear, or affirm, that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, Queen of Canada, her heirs and successors. So help me God. This oath ideally aligns them with the very principles we, as a nation, hold dear. They pledge to be faithful, to bear true allegiance, to uphold the laws of our land, and, implicitly, to act in the best interest of Canadian citizens. As Canadian citizens, we take a similar oath when we are granted citizenship. I swear, or affirm, that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, Queen of Canada, her heirs and successors, and that I will faithfully observe the laws of Canada and fulfill my duties as a Canadian citizen. In essence, our oath mirrors that of our MPs, binding us to a shared commitment to uphold the laws and values of Canada, acting in good faith and maintaining true allegiance to our nation. Given these solemn oaths, it becomes more than our right. It becomes our duty to hold MPs accountable. It falls upon us, the citizens of Canada, to regulate the professionalism of our MPs. We are responsible to issue sanctions, in the same sense that professional boards issue sanctions to professionals that offer violations of ethics or competency. In times past, professionals were traditionally self-governed, with boards and fellow professionals holding them to account. Today, the mantle of accountability has expanded to include us, the citizens. Amid the challenges we currently face, active citizenship emerges as an indispensable tool for charting our nation's future course. The dissonance between the volume of immigration and the capacity for housing accommodation is a clear example of the breach of these oaths. Pierre Poilievre's examination of the housing crisis illuminates this disregard for foundational economic principles. The practice of welcoming 1 million immigrants into Canada annually while only building 200,000 homes is mathematically untenable. Any engineer could have flagged this issue with a mere few minutes of casual research at any point over the last 2 decades. That this problem persists suggests a deeper issue, a lack of professionalism in immigration and housing policy, as well as an ethical and competency breach. The ensuing burden of these ill-conceived policies, unfortunately, falls on the citizens, like the worker featured in this video. Our present predicament finds an echo in Victor Davis Hanson's Buck the Dying Citizen, which explores similar themes such as the erosion of citizen autonomy and civic decay. Hanson's insights underline the need for leaders like Pierre Poilievre, who can steer us towards a future where work ethic, competence, and performance are valued and rewarded across all sectors of our society. Just as our passports, citizenship oaths, and MPOs appear to be losing their unique historical imagery, content, and foundation, We must strive to protect and safeguard our professional identities against any federal government overreach. Without careful stewardship, we risk blurring the lines that define the unique roles, duties, rights, and responsibilities of our diverse professions. Leaders like Pierre Poilievre offer us hope, a promise that we can preserve these unique professional identities and we can preserve the fundamentals of professional disciplines, thereby contributing to the rich tapestry of our nation's identity. His commitment to uphold our oaths of allegiance, both of the citizens and the MPs, is a testament to his leadership. Through reason-based action, we can work towards a future where these breaches are addressed, and our roads once again hold the value they were intended to represent. Skills Gap Trainer Comment. Hey Pierre, I'm all in on that idea to squash CBDCs and audit away like a financial detective. But why not go big league and throw some real-world curveballs while others are busy playing with virtual reality? I mean, after Trudeau's 8-year money printing bonanza, I've yet to see a new hospital or home. Perhaps they're all in the metaverse. Investing for the future matrix. So, let's talk real world, Ed. With higher rates, rising inflation, and rising commodity prices looming, why not turn Canada's vast, untouched crown lands, 89% of Canada, that's right, 89%, into a crypto paradise? Boy, with 40 million Canadians, you'd think they'd give us more than a mere 11% of Canada's land wealth to live in, work in, or be able to benefit from. Instead, we're rewarded with trillions in national debt, each of us getting our very own special share of debt, and our kids too. That's trillions in potential mineral, forest, and land value that every foreign investor's drooling over, and what every foreign nation and aspiring global leader has been scheming to grab. How about swapping the debt Trudeau hands out for a fair slice of our beautiful nation from Pierre? Sharing is caring, after all. Instead of printing enough paper CAD currency to create a whole new forest currency that will never actually transform into physical value in the real world, let's tap into the federal and provincial government's real land assets, real value for society. Here's the twist. We introduce a secondary land currency, paired with the Canadian dollar. It's normal to have two or more currencies in a society, and hard currencies too. Your Canadian dollar, struggling to keep its value or any value, would now have a land dollar counterpart, an inflation-proof asset that grows in value as Canada's vast wilderness appreciates. It will also survive crises, challenges, and wars of the 21st century. And the best part, it doesn't add to inflation. The land dollar can only be used when developing a home, creating supply without impacting existing supply. It's like giving workers a real Canadian dollar top-up as a strong, nature-loving partner, all while doubling workers' purchasing power for that dream house. No, it's not monopoly money, but you can use these tokens to claim your own little slice of Canadian heaven. And it sure beats watching your hard-earned cash shrink faster than a snowman in July, who's ready for a revolution that doesn't sound like printers having a rave party or a politician making movie parties. Pierre, if you take this idea to Ottawa, no need for royalties. But a piece of crown land with a view of a moose would be nice. Make it 2 moose, and we've got a deal. Skills Gap Trainer Comment. In the stark light of April 2023, we observe a feat of financial acrobatics under Justin Trudeau's administration, as Canada's federal debt skyrockets from CAD $612.3 billion to an eye-watering CAD $1.2 trillion since his ascension to office in 2015. To put this into perspective, Trudeau's government has managed to borrow more than all 22 preceding prime ministers combined, their tenures spanning over a century and a half. Something like this. Now, a candid question bubbles to the surface. Out of the CAD $612.3 billion borrowed, couldn't they have invested a few $1,000,000 to increase the quantity of trained carpenters, electricians, plumbers, or even doctors? With $600 billion at disposal, the training of skilled personnel seems to be a logical path. Yet, it seems our leaders are preoccupied elsewhere. They're focused on our rights, it appears. Intriguingly, discussions on rights and identity regulations overshadow the pressing need for doctors, hospitals, fighter jets, ships, clean energy export, nuclear energy, or carpenters. This, folks, is the stark reality casting a long shadow over Canada's current predicament. The inflation will rise and currency will weaken as long as we avoid using all of this enormous capital debts incurred by the government in the development area, instead of the rights and dialogue area. So, what's the magic number? How much more of the nation's financing would we need to dip into to expedite the training of these essential workers? Should we anticipate a cool $3 trillion? Or perhaps $5 trillion? Our government, in all its wisdom, appears enthusiastic about writing checks of astronomical figures for a variety of virtual ventures, rights analysis ventures, or even foreign endeavors, yet they exhibit a striking lack of interest in nurturing the growth of those who could spearhead our journey to untapped crown lands or professionals skilled in erecting wooden walls. Honestly, is it too much to ask? To secure $4 or $5 pieces of wood, mark out a free square lot in a forest as it's owned by Canadians as a whole, and train a couple of carpenters to build a modest 2-story 2-bedroom wooden cottage kit over the weekend. A decent 2-bedroom wooden structure could cost around $40,000 in wood and a robust concrete floor, along with the labor of 2 people for 3 days. Throw in a family member or 2 for additional support, and you have yourself a beautiful, earthy abode. This is a globally practiced method, one that eliminates unnecessary costs. But from Trudeau, we hear not a whisper about such housing construction strategies. He seems rather busy swinging at existing legislation, investing his energy more on managing people, identities, and history, on modifying the rights of citizens and professionals, instead of fostering industrial innovation and imagining and designing in his mind and building cottage kits for the next generation.